trying to negotiate and talk about our demands as far as why aren't we being policed like that?
Look at the bus and all the police cars around.
Why are we being intimidated?
Well, I think that's for announced protest. I don't think that's related to your concerns about DSA. The real issue is the conduct around the bill. That's what that's about. In terms of the issues for DSA,
But could you guys please state your name and your position?
Kevin Smith, Chief of
Your
Staff.
position?
Chief of Staff. So, I don't know if Jack talked to you yesterday after the meeting, but he said he's willing to meet with parents who want to come meet with him. Right? Obviously, he can't meet with everybody all day, every day at the same time, but if you want to send a couple representatives and people who can represent a list of issues, he's more than happy to talk to them.
Well, we had them there yesterday, but they didn't want to hear.
Well, we did. We couldn't hear because there were a lot of people yelling at the same time.
Because we had been shut
It
down.
was me. I'm guilty.
So I thought we were going through the questions, he had the cards, and then when the meeting got the way, he couldn't get any orderly conversation. It was
Our primary concern is when will the teachers be restored? When will the full curriculum be restored, arts curriculum? And when will the school be restored to full DPS authority?
Well, the two teachers are being restored right away for the start of school.
No,
The two positions, the band director and the vocal music teacher.
Yes, we're aware of that.
Okay.
We need
The
the
other
rest
four,
of the teachers. My
we don't have
son's
any money.
English class was overcrowded last year.
I got you.
The teachers don't have teachers' aides. So how do we have room to lose more academic teachers as well as arts teachers?
Well, we
When
just
the
don't have,
classes are overcrowded.
we don't have the money to pay their salaries.
So where's the money?
Money follows the kids. It's $7,100 per student. When that
How
program
much
was
does the
designed,
security
let me finish.
for the financial manager get?
Let me finish. When that school was started, it had 800 and some change students. The program was designed around an enrollment of 800 or
We
so
heard
students.
this whole
Okay.
spiel yesterday.
So when you're down at 500, 400,
How much does the financial manager and his security team cost DPS?
not enough to make up the difference for DSA.
I need a
How
number.
much?
I don't have it. I can't give it to you standing in the lobby of this building.
Give me a
What I'm saying
ballpark
to you,
figure.
I don't have a ballpark figure. I've never looked at it.
So you've never seen a contract with his amount that he's contracted for?
It's not my job to look for his contract.
So as a DPS district, do we have the money as a broke district to spend on secret service for people who are coming in here dismantling the public school system?
Well, I think that everybody got to make a decision on what the dollar should be spent on. And I'm saying to you that in addition to DSA, it's not just DSA. We got 94 schools. And all the other schools are saying, you guys are supplementing DSA to our expense. So every complaint
Really?
that you have,
That's not
Noble and
true.
Henderson are all saying, you didn't loan us $2 million last year, you loaned DSA $2 million. Why are you supplementing that program and not us? And so we're trying to balance all of the needs of all of the schools. That's what we're saying.
How
we're not
much-
saying that DSA shouldn't have all those
Ask
things.
about the testing.
We're just saying that every
the
school has
self-governing
needs, a lot of
funding.
them.
How much do the self-governing committee, the two members that are left, because we were led to believe there were more members and that there would be a parent on that committee. So how much do they make?
They don't make anything.
No, I'm talking about the board self-governing.
They don't
How
make-
much did Natasha Baker and her team make?
I don't know.
Okay, because the school is under a self-governing Detroit Rising. Well, with the creation of the innovation department comes monies that you pay those people and their staff.
Actually, let
How
me tell you
much
this.
is that total budget, sir?
So I don't know what the total budget is, but what I'll tell you is it's less than it was last year. What they did when they reorged it was brought in people who made less than the total staff made last year.
What's the total of numbers of people in the Detroit Rising governance, system?
So let me say this.
And how much are they getting paid?
So let me say this.
Natasha Baker, for one, is
Are
probably
you gonna
getting
let me
6
answer the
digits,
question?
correct?
Don't ask
All
3
right.
4 questions on top of each other.
Okay,
Let
all
me
right,
answer.
sorry.
All right.
I apologize.
What I'm trying to say is, I don't know the details on the structure, but what I am telling you is the concerted effort was made to look at that and make it less than what it was last year. So there are cuts being made. That price or the numbers that you're looking for is not just about DSA. It's spread across all of the 9 schools. And let me say this,
But if you get rid of the department.
Let me finish.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
purpose of the self-governing model was because the principals of those schools were saying we want to be autonomous. And so whatever the structure is,
But they're not
the principals have
autonomous.
said
They micromanage
that
them.
this is what we want to
They
see.
micromanage
And so what we try to do is find ways to finance it. And so you got Osborne has 3 small schools there, Cody has 3, then Carson's has it, DSA has it.
Well,
There
would
is
the
a-
school district potentially have a lot more money if we didn't have these people in place that we're paying?
It won't make a difference.
Why not?
So you're saying
Because-
paying someone's salary is not
I'm
going
going
to
to
make a
tell you
difference?
why. Because the structure
That don't make
that
sense,
was in
do it?
place before the structure that's in place now costs more than this one. So you're not going back to the old structure doesn't give you anything.
I didn't say go back to the old structure. I said eliminate the financial managers, their security team, and this governing
Well, I'm
council
not here to argue
that
that.
receive pay from DPS.
Not
I'm not
governing
here to
council.
Plans are in place. What are your plans to circumvent the issues, the deficits? What plans are being created to overturn the downward spiral?
So the first,
What is the office doing?
so there's a few things. Number one, what I'd like you to do is go look at the strategic plan, because we do have a plan. It's 12 points where we talk about all the things we're trying to do. To your immediate point on what we're doing this year, you know we announced the enrollment campaign. That enrollment campaign was designed to deliver more students, because in school districts, this is not we don't produce any product other than educate kids. So dollars come with children.
So let me ask you
finish.
this.
Let me
What about
finish.
those standardized
So if you
tests?
look at the revenues of the district,
How much
they
the
track
connect test
directly
costs?
with the loss of
What about this new
enrollment.
beacon test?
Which is also why I'm saying we really want the community to help us deliver kids to the school district, because every time we beat ourselves and complain DPS is horrible, I'm pulling my kids out, you're also pulling the dollars out. And so what you'll notice this summer, we said we're going to go on the offensive. We're going to go around to the community, go door to door, campaign, and talk to the parents face to face and address their needs. Each school was responsible for handling the community around their area. You guys have probably, a lot of people have probably had people put door kickers and flyers and things in their hand and come to their doors. I'm going to tell you today that I don't want to get ahead of myself because it's not count day yet, but we're going to hit that target. Those 5,000 additional students translates into several millions of dollars that we can then apply to all of the schools that need additional teachers and other things. What DSA specifically can do to get those teachers is get
Sell
new
chicken
students to
Now,
the school.
what incentives are being given to the new residents of Detroit?
It's not
Being
about
given
money.
incentives to move here.
King
being
Solomon
given
in all his
incentives to
glory
open
did not
up
eat
businesses
the money
here,
when
and
he
given
left the
incentives
planet.
to work here in the city of Detroit.
say
Are
what
we
incentives are we
campaigning-
giving?
Redistribute the
are we
money.
campaigning to get any of those people to
Money
bring
has
their
never left the
students into
planet.
DSA? They claim they want a diverse community.
Right.
And if they want a diverse community, it doesn't require pushing us out.
Well, we aren't
So
pushing
are
you out.
there
We want them here.
incentives? Because in the Midtown area, which is where DSA is located, there are a lot of new residents coming in.
Yep.
So are there incentives and programs being put in place to try to draw those new residents to bring their students to the school?
So
As it is DSA.
So let me give you my
DPS.
opinion, not Jack's opinion, but my opinion is we're not going to pay for any incentives. The only
No, I
incentive.
didn't say pay.
Okay. So the only incentive to draw people to a school is to have a good product.
ask questions.
And so we have to prove that DSA is educating its students, and that will
Oh,
cause people to choose to send their kids to DSA.
Well, that's already.
That's already been happening.
Well, I'm saying that.
May I have a word from the
Let me finish. I'm saying to you that it's got to be a sustained effort, and your perception of what's happening when we hit the doors of the people and we're talking to the community, they don't know it.
How are you going to draw these people in, taking programs and teachers away?
Well, I agree with that. I think that's a problem.
right,
But
we heard agree.
we can't
All right, that's
keep
a
the
step.
staffing level and exacerbate the deficit and then get the complaint that
That's
we're not
good.
putting money in other
But
places.
you just traded
We got
how
to
much
do both.
do standardized testing to bring in students, the math, we need students.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so from what I have observed, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Our problem is, even though if everything works out as planned, even if we get the money in our school, even if the deficit is over, me as a student, I would really love to see. When I looked at my schedule, I only saw one arts class, and I would really love to have more than one, at least two. Okay, because I enjoy my arts, and I will also enjoy. Even when I was a freshman, I love music theory. You know, I love learning about music. I had no, how can you say, I didn't know about music at the time. And it actually evolved me, it created me into the band program.
Yeah.
And so what I'm hearing is, if you have the money, that we can just get any other student. At DSA, we don't want any other student.
You have to audition.
What I'm saying is, I believe it starts from middle school and elementaries. If we have band programs and
Thank you.
stuff like art programs in elementaries and middle schools, that it can actually evolve into DSA. We can't just say, hey, come to DSA. We can't just
Yeah,
get
go
any
audition.
random person off the street and bring them
Exactly.
into DSA.
It's not like that.
So-
And even if we do, we can't do that without music theory.
So-
we can't just bring a student in here like, you're in the dance program, they don't know how to dance, or they don't know how to sing, or they don't know how to play an instrument.
You have to
I'm
come in.
like, I can use myself for example. When I got into DSA, I had no experience at all, and only in elementary, and I was in Elmdale, and I could even play the trumpet. And when I got to DSA, I'm so glad that I was in it. I'm very blessed to be in this school, and I've learned, I learned how to play the most difficult brass instrument ever, and that's the French horn. And I would not know, I couldn't do that without music theory class. Exactly, like that's just what I'm saying.
So in response to that, we agree with you, which is also why we're saying it takes dollars to have arts in all of our schools,
Go back with
which is
those
why I
dollars
asked,
again.
go online and look at the strategic plan. What we announced is art, music, and athletics in all of our K-8, which gets right at what you're saying.
But
Now-
what I was just hearing, that it's like, oh, we just need money, we need students.
Well, let me finish. So we had to announce that we're doing that by, let's just say by faith, because the students weren't here. Then we had to get out and hit the streets and recruit the
Hit
students.
the streets.
Yeah,
right?
but if you think about it,
Wait.
Detroit School of
So let me
Arts-
finish. Those students then result in more dollars, right? To fund those things. We also have to target some sponsor support because it's not enough. Because each student requires a certain amount of teachers, right? And even though they come to the school, it doesn't mean you got extra money for art and music. You got to educate them with the core. So what we had to do was we also, in addition to doing the enrollment campaign and the recruiting campaign, in addition to bringing back the art and music, we had to then meet with all these different partners, like the Lears, like the UAWs and others, who we can hopefully convince them to provide us with resources to help. Let me tell you about School of the Arts. Across the country, it is a very expensive program to operate. And there is no public school system that you can identify that runs it entirely off of their own budget. You gotta have partners. And so we gotta have people who are willing to come to the table with dollars and finance the extra, because at an art school, especially art school, unless you're paying for it, unless parents are willing to pay tuition,
Mr. Smith, can you
gotta
give
have
us,
somebody to fund those extra teachers that you're talking about.
Mr. Smith, can you give us an example of the
Let him
school?
say it one more
Go ahead.
time.
All right. All right.
Any student can receive. When you,
I'm sorry, say
I said any student can receive, like, and just stop what I'm talking about. But when you said that, when you said, and I was paying attention, you said that DSA, it's our duty to take care of our community. It's our duty to get students into our schools. But I honestly believe,
Actually, I'm not saying your duty. I'm saying it's all of our duty.
Exactly,
Yeah, it's ours
but-
too.
You have to audition.
we need not more advertisement on. We're in Midtown, and I've been in Midtown like ever since I was in 5th grade. What I'm trying to say is like, it's more of a business type area. It's not really a lot of residential. We just can't put up a flyer like, this is Detroit School of Arts, and people was like, well, that has nothing to do with me. My family's in the suburbs, or I'm somewhere else, or my students is in the school. Is the probability of us getting students, talented students, to come in our school is not very high. So for having an art school, it takes a lot of responsibility. And so not only for, I admit, like, I doubt that any community effort is happening. It probably is, but it's not.
We got
But
okay, babe, no, wait a minute. You got this student that's been waiting.
what I'm trying to say is,
The student over here been waiting.
we might have it, but we
Okay,
need
Jacob.
more.
Jacob, let this other student talk right here.
All right, but let me answer this.
Okay.
So part of, in response to part of your question, actually gets at your other one, where you were saying, what things are you doing And we're saying to you, the reason you guys don't know about all the fantastic things that we're doing is not because we haven't put out advertisements and other things. What we're learning is that those aren't effective. People see news.
What do you mean by what you're doing?
What are you doing?
So all the things in our strategic plan, all the positive things that I'm telling you that this gentleman has.
Do you know about the plan? Like, do you know what's happening?
Let me finish. So all those things, we've announced them. We've told the community in press releases. And people don't listen to the news and read and hear it the way we think they are. Or they hear the news and they're skeptical of it. So the only thing that we've learned that's been effective as of right now is word of mouth. You're standing here right now and you want me to explain something that we've already explained 20 times in print and in media. That's an example of what I'm saying. We have answers to a lot of the questions. We've told people where to go, but people haven't read it. And so that's why it is difficult. We have to take the extra step and go face to face and door to door. And we really need, this is the reason why we need the schools to take ownership of that, is exactly what you said. It's because when I come to your, wait, let me finish.
The person who's next in line to have the floor is Tiffany.
Let me finish.
All right, students.
I understand you're engaging him because
But you have another.
he's able to be influenced.
I'm just answering his question.
Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
can you move on,
Well,
Mr. Smith, to this young lady?
Let me finish it. So what I'm saying
Okay.
to you
Well,
is,
before we go back to the parents,
let me finish that last statement.
No,
So
we
what
want
I'm
the
saying
student to
you
go
is
next.
that when we say
Jacob, this got to stop
people
right here.
don't believe it. When the principals and the administrators and the students of the school, you guys all believe it. That's why we're saying we need the schools to do it. If me or Jack Martin come to your door, you're gonna be standing there just like you are now. I don't believe it. But if Lisa Reynolds,
You don't believe
Cornell
what?
said, all of a sudden you're like, okay. And they say the exact same
I'm not following
thing.
them now.
And so we're not trying to fight. We're saying if you have ideas, if you got a fundraising idea,
Sir,
or whatever it is,
I have an idea.
Bring it so that bring it.
Okay.
So that we
Let
can
her
consider
go.
it. No one is
Jacob.
saying we won't consider any of the ideas.
Tiffany, go ahead. Let Tiffany.
I'm just confused as to why stressing enrollment is so important right now when I know for a fact that I am a senior at DSA this year that we don't have teachers right now to cover all of our classrooms. There's 32 children in the classroom. We barely have books. We barely have desks. We don't have teachers. There was one point where I didn't know who my teacher was for a whole month.
We had this.
And we had teachers in and out. So these budget cuts aren't helping. They're serving no justice to this. And I'm afraid that when we do get more students, it'll make things worse because you won't have students to cover them too.
Well, let me say this. I think that public education, the funding issue on public education is the biggest issue that we have here. $7,000 is not enough money per student to do much of anything. The difference between Detroit and West Bloomfield is that their tax base delivers $14,000 per student.
Now we'll go back to the money again.
So, I mean, you can't,
Money has not left the planet.
but business, you can't separate the business side of it.
When
and
King
what you
Solomon
deliver
died, he
from
didn't
the
take his
money.
gold
They are
with him.
tied together.
So where's the differential? Why
The
is that?
differential is because of the tax base in the city.
Because you
of
have a self-governing department, which takes up a lot of money, and all these testing.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, that of course you need money to run a school. But my issue is you all took on an art school. You know that
Thank
that
you,
is going
baby.
to come with specific
Well, we personally
obligations.
didn't take
Okay, please, let her talk.
That was 10 years
That's
ago.
gonna
Let her
come.
talk.
That's gonna come with specific obligations.
Yep.
You already know we are going to need specific things that other schools will not need. So yes, chances are our budget is gonna needs to be a little bit bigger. You can't say, well, we other schools haven't gotten what you've gotten. Other schools aren't art schools. Other schools don't need bunches of instruments. Other schools don't need specific teachers. We have teachers coming out of pocket for stuff that should be provided. That's not right. And you say we need to bring up how many students we get in the building. You're not going to go out there and find 800 kids who deserve to be in a performing
Hello.
arts school.
That's
Because
right, baby.
DSA is not a place for you to come in and say, well, I've always liked to dance, but I have no clue how to do it. I've always liked to hear guitars played, but I have no clue how to do it. This is a fine-tuning school. You already know how to do it. We trying to perfect it. We don't need students who have no clue what they're doing, because when you get that, that's when people leave. When people come to our performances and they see bad performances, that's when people don't want to come, because they say, well, this school isn't good. No one wants to send their kids to a place where our performances look bad, and that's what you get when you let anybody in.
I don't disagree.
Okay, please, come on now.
Let me answer
You're ridiculous.
young lady. Thank you. So I don't disagree with you. And I think that problem is real. But we aren't solving it by saying we can't do it. I'm saying to you that if DSA doesn't have the money, it doesn't float out of the sky. We either close it and apply it to the other schools, or we got to do something to make up the difference.
Okay. So how much does
let this baby, let her.
But it makes it worse. What I'm saying is, it makes it worse when you take away the cream of the crops teachers that we have. Because if you're we have freshmen coming in who are missing a very, very wonderful dance teacher.
I got it, but we can't pay their salary, so it doesn't change just because they need it. We can't pay them.
Okay,
but you're not going to be able to pay them either if no one's going to come in. And no one's going to come in when people don't know what they're doing. When you have freshmen who don't know what they're doing, it's going to make it worse. What I'm saying is, you all so-called problem solving is making it worse. It's not problem solving.
Well, I would be interested to hear what solution would work, and then let's try.
Well, we told you already, sir.
I haven't heard anything from you.
Oh yes, let me tell you. Let me tell you then.
I graduated from Detroit School of Arts in 2007. Now, in my 11th grade year, 06, 07. Now, y'all had a program where y'all cut half of CMA students up to DSA. We had 1,200 students.
Okay.
Now, the school originated off 500 students.
I thought it was 800.
It was 500. Okay. My freshman year, I've been there for a long time. My people have been there for a long time. And it's just funny because, to have an art school without the arts, y'all want to turn it into an art school, athletic school, preparatory school. It's not all that school. I mean, the building, y'all don't even own the building. The DSO owns the building. And how I know that is because I went through the deal. Okay. DSO paid for it. They own the land that's its own. If you don't own the land, you don't own the building.
We own the land. It's a public institution. We own the land.
Okay, but that being speaking, like, to have, first I seen this issue started way back when y'all cut the feeder schools. The feeder schools is the schools that give the DSA the qualified students. I went to Spain, Detroit School of Arts. I've been in art schools all my life.
Yep.
So to cut the arts is because I had opportunities that I wouldn't be able to do now if it wasn't for DSA. I'm auditioning for the third chair of the DSA. I wouldn't have that opportunity. I couldn't afford lessons. I never had a lesson until my senior year of college. I never had a lesson. To be able to achieve all that without no lessons come only from the arts. And I worked with Edward Quick. Edward Quick was the original band director. We brought it in. We went to Europe, we went to New York, we went to all these things. And you want to talk about money. When you're at a high level, you don't have to worry about the money. The money will come. If your mission statement stays correct, the money's going to be there.
Well, the money hasn't come.
The money hasn't come because you're cutting it from the knees.
Exactly.
If you cut the feeder program,
we actually agree with you. Because when we did the strategic plan, that's what the parents said. They said the reason we left is because you didn't have art, music, and all those other things. So we know what we did this year? We put it back in before the money was there. So we're gambling on the fact that we're going to deliver what people are saying was missing, and then we got to go out here and ramp up and get people to come in and identify money. We still are upstairs meeting trying to find money to pay for the programs that you guys are asking for, that we put in and install on faith that we're going to get this money. So trust me when I say this. It's not easy question.
Fixed 12 French horns out of my own pocket, out of my own skills. I came up here and get free lessons. This cat right here, really good French horn player. I came up there and worked with him and his classmates. I come up here and get free lessons because I love the arts. And because if it keep going like this, in all honesty, it's going to be a tuition-based school, and it's going to take the arts out the neighborhood. Kids who don't want to play football, kids who don't want to do this.
I have a question based on the freedom of information.
Okay, wait a minute. This parent, Ms. Anderson, this parent's been waiting though.
I do have a fundraiser statement.
The budget is posted on
the budget is posted on the
We have four new administrators at DSA.
Okay.
That came at a cost of 8 well-established teachers. If you wanted to know, our input. We have been meeting, parents have been there. We've been trying to work with the self-governing. All of these things that have happened are new. They are not coming at the disclosure rate at which things are happening is ridiculous.
Right.
4 administrators for 8 teachers gone. That's ridiculous. At a school of arts where none of those administrators have experience in the arts. We're saying that if you have funding at another school to send these teachers, then you should have the funding at DSA.
So let me answer that question. They do have experience in the arts. You got to give them a chance to show you that they do. Secondly, the 4 administrators.
What did he say?
That you listen. The 4 administrators cost less than the 2 administrators from before, because what you do is when you bring in the people at the lower salaries who perform specific functions, we're trying to identify creative ways to stretch the money to get more out of the administration side. Now, I agree with you that you can't have a school of the arts and cut the arts program. Right now, we're trying to balance what we have until we get to the ultimate solution. We aren't at ideal staffing levels.
And I know that.
We aren't at it. We know that. But we got to get there.
Here's the thing. Wait a minute. Here's the thing. You can't. We all know that you cannot make money in education. We've been working at the Detroit school, the Detroit public school system has been working at a deficit since we were all little. Okay, so we know that there's no money. There's never any money in education. However, it is you guys' responsibility to work with us. We're here. We're able-bodied. Nobody is saying anything to us, which is why we have the protest here. Nobody said anything to us about we need more numbers. We met the new principal in July. He didn't say anything about we need more numbers. We didn't have an open house. Every school that's around me in my neighborhood had an open house, welcoming students, trying to pull the students in. DSA did not have an open house.
So here's my answer to that. I agree with you. Here's my answer. I agree with you. And I think we were wrong. And I think we got to keep working to get it right. I agree with you. I don't think that a lot of things happen the way they should. And that's a responsibility on all of us because the leadership wasn't coordinated.
And that's all we were trying to say yesterday.
Okay, Mr. Smith, this gentleman has a fundraising idea.
Here is very questionable. If we're so top heavy, we're way too top heavy. That's the same thing that's going on downtown.
I agree with that too. Let me say that. I agree with that too. But let me tell you, you don't just cut. If we cut all the waste that we think is out at one time, the bottom drops out and nothing gets done. In government, you have to use a scalpel. You got to figure out what's efficient. So it can't just be, let's wipe out 15 salaries. Then all of a sudden everybody's complaining why their paychecks not getting delivered because you just eliminated 15 people.
But we're not talking about eliminate the payroll department.
But that's what's
just hear me. What I'm saying is a process.
Get rid of the self-governing positions.
With the 8 teachers.
Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 questions. One, why was Felix Brown replaced when she was doing so well and the school was excelling? 2, why would they add 2 administrative positions yet get rid of teachers?
Because they didn't believe that Felix Brown was doing a good job, and B, they wanted to. That's their opinion.
Okay. And then to add 2 additional salaries of administration.
That cost less than the 1 assistant principal salary that they had before. So.
Mr. Smith, can this lady over there come say something? Can she come over here and say something? Can you come over here and say something, please?
Listen.
But he has a fundraising idea.
I got to get back upstairs. If you guys got some ideas, some actual ideas.
He has one right here, sir.
DSA is known for what? Performance and stuff like that. I feel like we should throw a big principal showcase featuring DSA students, DSA alums, and throw on a part. You know, pay for seats, you pay for this, pay for that. That should bring in a lot of money. Okay. Period. Like, you know, you cut all the. Remember the time when y'all cut even in the fine arts for the longest. Even in the fine arts displaced all the schools.
And that's back.
And it's back now. It was gone for a minute.
It was.
And it's hard to rebuild on that because that's how we get to the attention to bring to the schools. You know, when you cut the things that people go watch to. Because I wouldn't know nothing about DSA unless I seen something about out there and I was like, oh, I want to go there. What's the idea?
Look. Let's do it. I'm open.
Can this lady over there say something?
Out of all the concerts and all the promotions that we're doing, are we not catching up with the deficit? So, like, what
Excuse me, I'm going to get around you guys. Excuse me, sir.
Are you running away from talking to us? No. Okay, well, come on up with your partner here.
Why don't you ask her a question about the standardized testing?
DSA relaxing some criteria for students to be into. You know.
Ask her a question about the standardized test for the cost of that.
The audition process is already relaxed. However, you do have to audition to come in to go into any performing arts.
So that we can't just therefore go knock on any door.
What they suggested last night was ridiculous.
So, okay, so you still have to audition, you still have to have a 2.5 grade point average.
You still have to have this.
So, you know, it's a balance
There's
act.
plenty of talent in Detroit. We just have to see it out.
Right, and there's
Let
lots
me
of
just say
talent.
that for the record. All the talent in the world ain't at DSA. Not
Two
yet.
more questions, and then I got to go to.
How much does the MAP test cost?
We have a lot of talented
How much
students who just moved to
is the
city of
district
Detroit
paying
from
for the
suburbs
MAP test?
who are in music
MAP.
programs at their school.
And how much are they paying for this new Beacon test that's only for self-governing schools?
I don't know.
Have you ever heard of the Beacon test?
Is it on the budget?
Is the Beacon test on the budget? There won't be a line item for the Beacon test, but there will be an evaluation.
Have you heard of the Beacon test?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, I was told when I was at a professional development on Monday at Cody DIT that a new standardized test called the Beacon test will be given only to self-governing schools. Now, we all know that these standardized testing companies have profited in the billions. What I want to know is how much is the district paying for the MAP test that's been around, I think this will be the second or third year, and how much are they going to be paying for this Beacon test?
You got to FOIA that, because I don't know.